My name's Penny I'm a physiotherapist with Your Community Health, and my responsibility is to look after mums either that are pregnant or mums that have just had a baby. Okay, so the biggest reason that mums come to see me after they've had a baby is because of back pain and neck and shoulder pain. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to talk about a couple of the reasons why they get neck pain and back and shoulder pain. Then we're going to talk about some of the things that we do every day when we're looking after our children, and just a few hints on what we can do to try and prevent that. Let's just first think about what's happening. You come out of this massive, you've given birth. Some people have told me they feel like it's running a marathon. Okay, so you're tired, you're exhausted. Inside your body, you still have a relaxant. So the hormone that's released through your body to help you give birth, to relax your ligaments to give birth, it's still in your system, it's still there, it's gonna be there for a while. So you're gonna be a little bit weaker than normal, you're not gonna be quite up to your full strength. On top of that, you're gonna be put into all sorts of positions. You've got this beautiful baby that you love, you're gonna be picking them up and sitting down and carrying them and moving around. All puts a strain on your body that's already a little bit weak because of the relaxant that's in it. On top of that, you're gonna be tired. Okay, how many of you have got a full night's sleep since you had your baby? I'm sure there's not many. If you have, don't tell anyone else at Mother's Group because they won't like you for it, okay? So you're tired, your body's asked to do things that they don't like, and you've got this relaxant in your system. On top of that, who gets to exercise? No one ever gets to exercise when you first have a baby, okay? So that's why we sometimes get some problems when you've just had a baby. These are the sorts of things, I'm going to go through now a list of the sorts of things that we can do around the house that might help make life a little bit easier for you. First of all, we're going to think about how we sit to feed the baby, okay? How many of you, I'm going to pull the chair over here, just so we can help the situation. Okay, so you come home, baby's tired, baby's hungry, and you're going to give them a feed. Oh! Crash in the chair, baby's on, you kind of get up, and you give the baby a feed, okay? Just look at the position of my shoulders, okay? My back is in an arch position, and obviously, if I'm going to stay in this position, it can be up to an hour the first time you feed them. The baby's going to finish feeding, you're going to get out of the chair and you're going to go, oh, that was too hard. I'm just going to offer a little suggestion now of another way that you might want to try and feed your baby. Okay? Find yourself a chair at home that's got a nice back support. Sometimes people find just the kitchen chair is adequate, that's all you need. Okay? Pop a little something under your feet. This is actually just a little book that I pop underneath your feet. Okay? I've lost my baby. Oh, I've lost my baby. Here's my baby. Okay, all right. So, what I find a lot is mums do when they're feeding their baby is they try and get the baby up to them, and they go on their tippy toes, and they might cross their leg, and they're in all sorts of funny positions. What we need to do is place the feet flat on the floor. A great way to do that and to encourage good sitting posture is to put your feet on a little stool, a little block. Put the pillow on your knee, bring the baby to you. What we don't want you to do is take yourself to the baby. Just bring the baby up to you in a nice comfortable position. Okay, so your shoulders are nice relaxed, your hips and knees are at 90 degrees, and you're not trying to go onto your tippy toes on the floor. Okay, in this position there, if you need to burp the baby, nice position again, just with your shoulders nice and relaxed. Okay, all right. So that's just sitting. Now, you might even want to sit just to settle your baby. Great position just to settle the baby. You can just play with your baby on their tummy. You can pop them into tummy time. Okay, but again, in a really good position with their arms forward. That's it. Just trying to encourage that neck control, but a great position for you with your back. All right, this is also a great position to just start doing your pelvic floor exercises. We'll talk about that in another session. Okay. The next thing I'm going to talk about is getting a baby in and out of a pram, the car, and the bassinet. All of those activities cause you to lean forward. Every time you lean your body forward, you're putting a big strain on the lower part of your back here. We want to try as much as possible to keep your back in that nice upright position. There's a few little tricks that we can do to try and help us with that. When you're putting your baby inside the pram, I'm sorry I couldn't borrow a pram, I did try, is instead of just putting your baby in the pram like this, if you put one foot at the side of the pram, one foot at the front of the pram, that actually allows you to bend your knees. You can actually bend your knees to pop the baby in the pram. Good little bit of exercise for your legs, bending your knees and it's not coming from your back. Okay? When you're popping the baby in and out of the car, people often lean over to put the baby in the car. What I recommend there is to pop one knee on the edge of the car seat when you're putting the baby in the car, and that way your back is a little bit straighter when you're putting in, avoiding that fully flexed position. Same with the bassinet. We tend to go forward, pop the baby into the bassinet. Then often we pop the baby into the bassinet and we're trying to settle them. Okay? All that time, your back is in that forward position, which is putting a strain on the back. What I encourage people to do there is to make sure the bassinet side is down if you can. Again, put your legs a little bit apart, try and squat your legs a little bit and tap the baby that way. Sometimes people even find they can sit on a stool or a chair at the side of their bassinet and do it that way. Okay? The thing that we want to avoid is leaning forward for a long period of time. Oh, I've just realised what I forgot to put on. Changing nappies. How many times do you change a nappy in the day? I forgot to put it on. I put bathing but not changing the nappies. I knew there was something I'd forgotten. Okay, when we're bathing and changing a nappy, we're constantly again in that forward position. Okay, so you lean over, you change the baby's nappy and you're in that position. Again, my little step comes into play. What I do is I just place a little step underneath my foot. Instead of leaning forward to change the nappy, if I put my foot on a step, it just angles a little bit of the spine and it just takes the strain off the lower part of the spine. So you're bathing at home and you've got your setup at home, and or that's all fine, and you've got your the kitchen, not the kitchen, the laundry trough. Okay, how many of you have bathed in the laundry trough or the kitchen sink? Again, you're leaning over. If you open up your cupboard, you'll probably find there's a few shelves, and if you just plop your foot up on one of those shelves, again, it will just take the strain off the lower part of the spine. Then at home, you're all set up with this. You go and visit your mum, you go visit your auntie. The baby's nappy needs changing. What are you going to do? How many mums come to me and they say, oh, they changed them on the floor? Okay, again, that's a really awkward position. What I encourage people to do for changing when they're not at home is to actually kneel down next to outside to a chair or a bed or something. Suggest something that's a nice even height. Okay, pop your disposable cloth at the bottom and just change the baby's nappy there. What I don't want people to do is change the baby's nappy standing up and leaning forward. So always get yourself down low, get yourself close to the baby and be in that position here. Okay? Housework. I have a rule: if someone comes to visit, they either bring a cake or happy to pick up the vacuum cleaner, but that doesn't always happen. Okay? So with our housework, we need to be conscious that we can't have the housework done like we did before we had a baby. Okay, it's not going to be spotless all the time. You haven't got the time, you haven't got the energy to actually do that. So you've got to sometimes just accept that it's not going to be quite like it was before and just do the best that you can, all right? But when you are doing your housework, try and avoid being in that forward position all the time. So if you're vacuuming, try and stand up to vacuum or get someone else in the house to do it, okay? If you're washing the dishes, if you're cooking, again, if you're over the kitchen sink, open up the cupboard door, just place your foot on something just to change the angle of the spine. So just to recap on that, the things we need to think about: chairs. How are we sitting? What position are we sitting in? And if you're going to be, and okay, the other thing that sometimes happens is people get this beautiful chair they put in the baby's room, and it's all lovely and it's all set up for them. But who feeds a baby in the baby's room? When your relatives are down the road in the lounge room, or someone's cooking in the kitchen, you want to be with them. So you might find some other chair. Try and have a few chairs like this that you can put in different parts of the house so you can feed comfortably wherever you happen to be. Another one I find particularly as an issue is when people feed the baby in the middle of the night. They prop themselves up in the bed or even sit on the edge of the bed leaning forward. Okay, just try and pop a little chair like this in your bedroom, just so you've got somewhere comfortable to feed the baby. Avoiding leaning forward. All the things that you do leaning forward. Try and think about those things and just try and get yourself foot up or in a slightly different position. Alternate postures. Don't stay in one position for too long and then another position too long. Make sure you're constantly moving around, changing how you do things. And the last one is regular exercise, okay? The next session I'm going to be doing a video of is just how to return to exercise after you've had a baby. There's some very simple steps that we can do to get yourself started. So I hope that was helpful information. If anyone's continuing to have any problems, please contact Your Community Health on 8470 1111, or ask your maternal child health nurse to put in a referral to the physiotherapist. Good luck.